This is the most important thing that you can get in this walk with Christ. It will keep you from being poor. It will keep you from getting into temptation. It will keep you from getting into the wrong relationship. And that one thing is wisdom. And that's why the word tells us that we should be seeking for wisdom like we seek for money. And if there's anything that we should be looking for, it should be wisdom, because that is what's going to bring everything else to our life. Because if you chase wisdom, then everything else will start to get added on to you. But how do you chase wisdom, and what exactly is wisdom? Because a lot of people probably think that wisdom is knowing a lot of things. But the truth is, you can know a lot of things, but have no wisdom. Because wisdom is the execution of things that you know. So for example, I have a community that teaches people how to grow on social media. It teaches them how to grow and monetize their brand. And so in the community, yes, you will learn how to grow on social media. You will know exactly what you need to do in order to grow on social media. But that will not mean anything if you don't have wisdom, because you can know how to grow on social media, but not know how to apply it to your life, because everybody's circumstances is different. So that's why you have to find out what decisions you need to make in order to make it work for you. And when you do that, that is called wisdom. That's when you can execute things that you know. And so that's why in this video, I actually be telling you how you can gain wisdom and godly wisdom, so you can start applying the word to your life and applying the things that you learned in this life so that you can start gaining more wisdom. The first thing you need to do when you want more wisdom is ask God for it. It says in James chapter 1, verse 5, if any of you lacks wisdom, then you need to ask God for it, because God gives wisdom generously and he wants to give you wisdom. So if you ask for it, he'll give it to you. Now, that doesn't mean you just ask God for wisdom, he'll give it to you. You don't just pray and ask God like, God, can you give me wisdom? Instead, what you should do is ask God for wisdom for certain situations. Maybe ask God for wisdom on how to read the word. Ask God for wisdom on what job I should get. Ask God for wisdom on what relationship, what I should be looking out for, because that's when he'll start giving you wisdom for certain situations. Now, asking God isn't always just enough. You also need to put in the work. So if God gives you a certain book that you need to read, then you should read that book. That could be the Bible. If you're not reading the Bible, but you're asking God for wisdom, then he's not going to give you the wisdom, because you don't even have faith in the prayer that you're asking God for. Because if you have faith in that prayer, then you will put in the works that God is trying to give to you. And we all know that faith without works is dead. So if you're not putting your faith in the prayers that you are praying, then they're not going to come to life, because you're not believing in them. Obviously brings me to the second one, which is to actually put in the work. Go study and go look for different sermons, look for different pastors. There's so much more resources now that we're in 2024 that we can go ahead and just look up on Google if we're struggling with something. If you read Proverbs chapter 8, verse 10 through 11, it says, seek for wisdom like silver and gold, because it's better than any jewelry that you can have. And so you don't seek for gold or silver just sitting down and asking God, where is it? No, you actually have to go and put in that work to go look for the gold. You actually have to mine for gold back in the days. Just go get a job and then buy some gold. No, you actually had to go dig for it. Well, that's what the word is referring to. You need to seek wisdom like you are going mining. You need to seek wisdom in books. You need to seek wisdom in videos, podcasts. Because once you know how to do something, that knowledge cannot be taken away from you. Once you know how to take action and execute it, that wisdom can't be taken away from you. But gold can be taken away from you. And that's why if you know someone who's wealthy with wisdom, then you know that they can teach other people on how to make money too, because they know the steps that it needs to take in order to be successful, in order to get gold and silver. That's also why it's important to get a mentor, because there's always someone who is in the position where you want to be, whether that be in your walk with Christ, whether that be in financially, whether that be relationship. There's always someone who is better than what you are. So if you find that person, and that person can teach you how to make better decisions and the decisions that you need to make in order to get where you want to be, because they're already in that position. The third way to gain more wisdom is by soaking in what you're going through. So say I overcame a certain temptation like lust and I never went back to it. Wisdom is being able to look at what you did to overcome that lust so that you can teach it to other people. And so that's why you got to really learn from the decision that you're already making. It's like learning from your mistakes. But not only learning from your mistakes, but also learning from the things that you are doing good in your life. So if you just made $100, you ask yourself, how can I do that again, or triple it, or quadruple it, and do it 4 or 5 times and teach other people how to do the same thing. or it could even be getting through a certain situation. Say if you were depressed or just sad for a while, but you still managed to get through it with God. You still managed to get through it with high spirits. Well, if you ask yourself, how did you get through that? Ask yourself, what did I do to be able to keep high spirits? Then you actually learn from that situation. Then you can actually teach it to other people. And that's what it means to have wisdom. And that's how you continue to gain more wisdom. Because believe it or not, we go through this life and we don't learn from the things that we are. A lot of the times we get a lot of money and then we don't ask ourselves how we got there so we can do it again. Instead, what most people do is they blow that money and then they're struggling to get it back. Or some people think they never can reach their financial breakthrough because they are spending too much and they're not managing what they have. So their money keeps going up and then back down, up and back down, but it never reaches their breakthrough, where they want to be, because they're not gaining wisdom. They're not learning how money works, and they're not learning on how to become the person who can obtain that breakthrough that they want. So that's why sometimes we just need to slow down and learn from the decisions that we're making. Because you can do this in every aspect of your life, no matter what it is. But sometimes we struggle with focusing. And that's the fourth way that you can grow in wisdom. Fourth way is not just to focus on the things around you, but also retain the things that you are learning. Because the reason why you don't have the wisdom that you want is because you're not retaining the information that you already have gotten. A lot of people can read the whole Bible, but not remember the whole Bible. You can read a whole book, but not remember certain parts because you didn't retain that information and you let it go in one ear and out the other. An example of this, it could be like a speaker. Say there is a speaker that teach you exactly on how to get from 0 to 100K or how to get the life that you desire. Say he told you a whole speech, just a whole speech on how to do it, and it was 100% successful. Like if you did what he says, then you're gonna be successful no matter what. Well, us as humans will only retain like 30% of what he actually says. And so that's why you must figure out how you can retain that information more. And the easiest way to do that is by taking notes. Because even most of the time when people are taking notes, they are not retaining all the information that they write down. And so they have to go back. That's the whole point of notes, is going back to it so that you can actually retain that information longer and study it for longer periods of time. So even with the videos that I make, you can take notes on so that you can go back to it and apply it to your life. Because all of my content revolves around taking action. That's also a little bonus tip, is that you can take notes to take action on. Don't take notes that you can't take action on, but take notes that you can take action on so that you can start to improve your life. Lastly, the last way to gain wisdom is to start taking action. Because us as humans naturally take notes and don't do anything with them, take no action on them. And a lot of that stems from school, because in school we study and then we write down all these notes, but sometimes we don't even use half the notes that we actually have, that we have taken. And so when you do that, you have wasteful knowledge. You have a whole bunch of knowledge, but no wisdom, and you can't take any action. The problem with knowledge, but no wisdom, is that when you are that type of person, when you are not the type of person that takes action, then even if you have a whole bunch of knowledge, then that person who takes action is going to have more wisdom than you. And we see this in the world a lot. We see people who went to college for like 4 years and didn't do anything with the knowledge that they got. But we see a person who didn't go to college but took a whole bunch of action is way more successful. It's because the person who started taking action started to learn from their mistakes. They started to experience more things, so they get business experience and they start actually learning hands-on. That's why it's important that you take action, because when you take action, you can learn from your mistakes, and it takes replication. It takes doing things multiple times to actually master a skill. So no matter how much knowledge you get, no matter how much you know how to shoot a basketball, all the fundamentals, you still need to get in the gym and practice shooting a basketball in order to actually be good at it. Well, that's with anything in this life. We need to take action in order to gain wisdom, because taking action is the way to learn. So I hope that you can apply all 5 of these to your life. I actually want to make a part 2 to this. So if you want me to make a part 2, just comment down below. I hope that after this video that you really start to take action, not only just from watching this video, but in every video that you watch, in every book that you read. I hope you really start to take notes and retain that information so that you can apply it to your life. I appreciate all the support, and I pray for each and every last one of y'all for y'all to be able to hit your goals. And I hope this video helped you take one step forward towards where you want to be. But until next time, as usual, y'all stay blessed.